Hello folks and welcome to another exciting tutorial with Spinel Crochet. If you haven't subscribed, please do it now and hit the bell icon to get instant updates. We will start with the short size of the tissue box, and for that I'll be using a 3mm crochet hook and a double knit yarn. I'm using a shade of gray here. So starting with our slip knot, make a slip knot, secure it on your hook. Now make the foundation chain. Chain 20 for your foundation chain. Once the foundation chain is ready, go into the second chain from the hook and make a single crochet. Make one single crochet in each chain for the entire row. At the end of the row, chain 1 and turn your work. Now starting the next row, again make one single crochet in each stitch. So this is our second row and we're making one single crochet, complete a total of 10 rows, and I'll see you at the end of the work. So here I've completed 10 rows as you can see, and now leaving a long tail, cut off the yarn, and over here I have chain 1 over here after the last stitch, so pull it through and tighten this knot. You have to make two sides, so here I've completed another one as well. So these are same count, same number of stitches, two sides for the tissue box. Now we'll be working on the long side of the tissue box, for which I'll be making motifs, and for that I'll be using a 2.5mm crochet hook and a double knit yarn. So starting our work with the gray yarn over here, make a magic circle like this and then chain 1. Now working 8 single crochets in the magic circle. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. This is your first single crochet. Make a total of 8 single crochets. So here I've completed 8 single crochet. Now pulling the starting tail to close the magic circle. Now go into the first stitch, first single crochet, and make a slip stitch. So insert your hook under both loops. Pull up a yarn and pull the yarn through the loop on your hook and pull it through. So I've already cut the yarn, and you can see pulling it through and then tightening the circle so that the center is not visible. Now taking a different colored yarn, I'm using a pink yarn over here. Insert the hook in any of the single crochets, put the new yarn on your hook and pull it through, and then chain 2. 1, 2. Yarn over, insert the hook in the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over again, insert the hook in the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now you have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over again, insert the hook in the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now you have 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 4. So this is your first cluster stitch in one stitch. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, insert the hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over again, insert the hook in the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over again, insert the hook in the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, you have 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 4, chain 3, and this is what we're going to repeat in each stitch, so you'll have 8 cluster stitches at the end of this round. So here I am completing my last cluster stitch and then chain 3. Now find the first stitch of the first cluster stitch and make a slip stitch. Cut off the extra yarn and pull it through, tighten the knot, and then I'm going to weave in the ends and come back and show you the work. So this is how the flower motif looks like at the end of the second round. And now starting the third round with our gray yarn again, insert the hook in one of the chain 3 spaces, place the new yarn on the hook and pull up a loop, chain 1, then chain 2 on top of it. Now yarn over, insert the hook in the same space, yarn over, pull up a loop, and yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. This is your half double crochet. Yarn over and make another half double crochet in the same stitch. Chain 2, make 3 half double crochets in the same space. So at the end of the round I'll show you why I started with 2 half double crochets and not 3, because we'll be doing an invisible stitch, but the stitch sort of shows at the top, so the count is still the same even if you don't have the stitch underneath. So after the corner stitch, yarn over, go into the space between the 2 cluster stitches and make 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Now yarn over and go into the next space, and we're going to make the corner stitch. So yarn over, insert the hook, and make 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and then 3 half double crochets in the same space. 1, 2, 3. This is what we're going to be repeating: a corner stitch, middle stitch, and then a corner stitch, and I'll show you how to join this at the end of the round. So just finish the middle stitch, and now we're not going to make a slip stitch. I'm going to cut off the yarn here, leave a nice long tail, and just pull this through in the same stitch, which was your half double crochet. Now put this on the needle, So for the invisible stitch over here, you're going to go into that first stitch, not the chain 3 but the first stitch, which is the top of the half double crochet. Go under both loops and pull your yarn like this all the way through. Then insert the needle in the center of the last stitch, as you can see here, and try to go under two of the loops, not just one but the side one as well. So it forms a stitch on top, but there's no stitch underneath, but it gives you the same count as rest of the sides. So it's a perfect square and doesn't add a stitch and doesn't even give a bulge for the slip stitch when you do it. So it's an invisible join. Here's another one of the squares, and a total of 8 squares are required for this box. So here's the square after weaving in the ends, and only the last long tail of each is remaining over here, and this is one side, and we've got 4 squares for one side, and now it's time to put them together. So with a yarn needle, put one of the ending tails onto the needle. And now it's just up to you which side you want to join. Basically, the one close to the ending tail is suitable, since you can easily join the yarn from there. So each side should have same stitches, and 11 stitches are going to be joined with the 11 stitches of the other square like this. So first you have to bring the yarn to the side stitch and bring it to the 11th stitch here like this into the center one. So the two strands, you're picking up the strand close to you for this one and place the other square next to it, and you're picking up the strand which is away from you but close to the other square. So join them like this, make sure they're aligned properly. Pull the needle through. I'm just counting so that they're the same number of stitches. So pull this through, bring them together like this. Now insert in the next loop and pick up the loop from the other square like this, and then pull it through. Then from the other side, pick up one of the loops, pick up the loop from this square here, and then pull it through. We do this for all the 11 squares to join them. So once you've joined, just to make sure that your yarn over here is secure, so just go in and out of a few stitches at the back and make a knot. And I'll leave the yarn here in case I need to use it to join further. So now you can either join one side or the other side, whichever side you want of the square. So I'm picking up this square here and joining so that the yarn is towards where I join them. So put it on your needle. Yes, so once you have the yarn on your needle, again bring the yarn towards one of the corners of the square where you want to start. So from the back, as you can see, I'm just bringing it towards the corner here and bring it up on the stitch, and now placing it close to the square that needs to be joined, and then you join each end from one end to the other. So as you can see, all the 4 squares have been joined here, and this is the box that I'm using to make the cover for, and this is the other side, 4 squares again joined together. So just placing this on top of your box to see how it fits. And to show you the measurement of the side, it's a little less than 2 inches. And if you look at it in centimeters, it's nearly 5 centimeters. If your side is slightly bigger, you could use a bigger hook or to make the square slightly big. And the length is nearly 21.5 centimeters. And if you look at it in inches, it's more than 8 inches. So the sides are over here. As you can see, the sides are not long enough. So I'm going to be using the gray yarn to make a little side over here so that it covers the box. So if the tail is long enough, you could use that. So I'm using this hook, which is 2.5 millimeter hook, and I'm using the gray yarn here because the side yarn here is not long enough to work with. So I'm going to grab the yarn and then place it into one of the corners. So starting from the corner this side, the right side, place it into not under both loops but the back loop only, and we're just working single crochet here. So chain 1, go into that first stitch, make a single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've got 10 stitches here, chain 1, and we go back and then we turn our work and then we make single crochets on top here, and 1 single crochet in each stitch, so it should be 10 single crochets. At the end of the row, chain 1, turn your work and do 1 more row with single crochets. So I'm just going to place this on the box and see how it looks. So I think this fits well. You can't see the sides here, but I think the estimated length fits in. So I'm just going to add the other side as well. And I'm going to add the sides for the other 4 squares that I've got here to match the length. And I'll come back and show you. So here I am back with the sides done with the 3 rows of single crochet on each side to make it sort of an extended, because the squares were slightly short. And now it's time to join our work. Now joining the long side with the short side. So here I've got the short side, which we did with single crochets, and you can select which side you think is the front side or which side is the back side. So this side over here, the first row is really small and then the last row is small, so I will keep this inside, and this you can see that all the rows are very equally distributed. So I have 10 rows here, so I'm going to keep this on the outside of the tissue box. So now joining these two together, so I have enough yarn on the sides, just take a needle and join these together. Now for the top side of the tissue box, I'm using a 3mm crochet hook and the grey double knit yarn. So starting our work with a slip knot, make a slip knot and chain 44. Once you've completed the foundation chain, go into the second chain from the hook and make a single crochet. Make one single crochet in each stitch. So by the end of the row, you should have a total of 43 single crochets. Now I'm going to complete 11 rows and come back and show you how my work looks like. So here I've completed 11 rows and I've put these stitch markers. So from each side count 14 stitches, and in the 15th stitch put the stitch marker. Same for the other side, count 14 stitches, and in the 15th stitch put the stitch marker. We will not be working in the 15th stitch, which is the stitch marker stitch. So for the 12th row, chain 1 and turn your work. Make one single crochet in each stitch up to the stitch marker. Now chain 15. Now making sure your chain is straight, go into the stitch after the stitch marker and make a single crochet. Make one single crochet up to the end of the row, chain 1 and turn your work. Now for the 13th row, make one single crochet in each stitch, also on top of the chain that we made, 15 chains. So make one single crochet in that chain as well. You'll be able to pick up one loop from each stitch. At the end of round 13, chain 1 and turn your work. Make 9 more rows to complete the top. So here's the top part of our tissue box with the split in the center and equal number of rows on both sides. I've placed this on top of the tissue box that I'm making this for to see how it fits. Now I'm going to do one last row. It's not really a row, it's gonna go all around, like all on the 4 sides. So the same stitch that you have ended your last row, in that very same stitch make 3 single crochets. So you've already got one stitch and now make 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. So a total of 4 stitches for your corner stitch. And now on the side, which you remember that you did, we had 19 chains, 19 single crochets because we did a chain 20. So over here I'm going to equally space 18 stitches because I'm considering one of the stitches from the 4 single crochets that I've done to be attached on that side of the box or side of the crochet part that we've just made. So spacing them equally on this side. Then on the long side of the box we have regular stitches, so just make one single crochet in each, but in the corner stitch remember to make 4, altogether 4 single crochets, and then do the other short side and then come back to the other long side. So here I've completed all the sides and I'm back on my first stitch over here. So go ahead and make a slip stitch, and I'm going to cut off a small yarn here. But if you haven't left long yarns on the other part, then maybe leave a long tail here to stitch the sides together. But since I have a lot of yarn on the other part, so I'm going to use that to stitch the sides together. And over here I'm just going to weave in the starting tail and the end tail. So now putting the top side with the sides over here, I'm going to be using the long tails that I've left on this part where I had the beautiful squares and the short sides. So using this, just stitch that part together to the top part, just make sure that you are spacing it together so that your work is nicely put together. So after putting all the sides together and weaving in all the ends, I'm now going to place it on my tissue box here to see how it fits. So it fits quite well. The only thing is the sides over here, they're slightly short and visible, but that's all right because I have to do a little portion at the bottom so that it sort of fits on top. So I'm going to, you can attach the yarn anywhere you like. So I'm going to attach it over here on the short side of the cover. And I'm just going to be doing one single crochet in each stitch. At the corner edge where you won't find stitches, just equally space one stitch at a time, and then you get to the long side and complete your work. So after completing the single crochets, I've placed it on the tissue box again to see how it fits, and I think the sides are quite covered now. For the next row here, make a slip stitch first to finish off this round. Then chain 1 and make a single crochet in the first stitch. Now I'm going to place an elastic over here so that it is nice and snug onto the box. So I've got this little stretchy plastic string here, elastic string, sorry, and I've made a size and tied a knot. The size I think should fit the box. So place it close to your work and single crochet over it, so hiding it or embedding it while you work your last round. So here I have finished the round, and you can see that it is holding it together and pulling it inside. Just make a slip stitch and cut off the extra yarn. Weave in the end. Now trying it back onto the box here. So just the side is going to be slightly covered It doesn't take up too much fabric because I didn't want too much fabric underneath the box. So it's just going to be slightly covering the edges to keep it in place. So I felt that the top side is really plain, so I'm just going to be doing a bit of work with my pink yarn here. I'll be using my 2.5mm crochet hook. So first I'm going to be working on the side of the cover. So if you take your pink yarn, and can you see the sort of a line pattern at the edge over here? There's single stitches on the edge over here. So insert your hook in one of the stitches, place the yarn on your hook and pull it through. So we're going to be working from left to right instead of the usual right to left, and this is a reverse single crochet. So I was just trying to figure whether it was going from the top or from the bottom of the yarn on my hook. So I figured that it goes from the top. This is not right. So over here, like this, from the top you go in, pull the yarn up. So you need to have 2 loops on your hook and then single crochet. Go back into that stitch, into the next stitch actually, and then pull up a loop and then single crochet. Then go into the next stitch, pull up a loop. So I pulled this wrong because I slip stitched, so that was wrong. So pull up a loop such that you have 2 loops on the hook and then pull it through both. So do this for the entire round. Now I'll be doing the same stitch for the center slit over here. So attach the yarn at the corner, then pull up a loop. Then go into the in the same stitch, make a single crochet, then go into the back stitch and make a single crochet. So here's the finished cover of the tissue box. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.